how to use a report wizard to create a CCA report in Once for SAP. In this exercise, we're going to create a cost center accounting report using the report wizard. The report wizard is an easy way to create a report using the three variables that come back in actually every report. And they are: what filters do you want to apply to the entire report? What filters do you want to have in your columns? And what filters do you want to have in your rows? In this example, we have defined the report filters. Now the rows and the columns we'll do in the next screen. As you can see, some common filters are listed here. For instance, Q1 budget, current period, actual, etc. And let's use that one here. For the second column, we want to use year actual, and for the third column, we'll use year budget. And next, for rows, we choose one cost element, say materials, and we add that in and create the template. By default, the tool will use the current year and period, so May 2020, and also it will by default select the first cost center. Now, if you want to change these, you can do that manually, but a better way to do it is to use a list of values. So you go to create, you select cost center, and now you can see that LOV signal comes up, which means that is now a drop-down menu from which you can select the value that you want. And as you can see, you can choose to use a single cost center or a range of cost centers. And when we then hit OK, you'll see that the report refreshes and the number for materials has updated as well. Now, having a closer look at what happens under the hood, unhiding these lines here, you see that the parameters for this report are hidden here and in these columns as well. Now we can take this cost element here and then highlight a number of rows underneath it. Then we select the cost element here in the Discover section. Now remember, the Discover section here always follows these parameters on the left. So if we were to click Discover now, it would discover company code 1000 and the FICO object number 7, which is the cost element. And clicking Discover down would then populate these line items here, the highlighted lines. Now there's different Discover options, as you can see: Discover down, right, left, up, Discover all. In this case, we're going to Discover down, and as you can see, that populates these line items there with the cost elements. And of course, GL1 lives in Excel, and therefore you can select this row here, pull it down, and that will copy across all of the formulas. Now GL1 will update those formulas specific to all those cost elements. Now let's change some of these variables. For instance, the cost center, let's make that a range. And you see that the report refreshes and all of the numbers update in real time. Now let's have a look at the parameters. So you see that when we change the year at the top, it will be picked up for every column there. And the same is true for the period, 5. Now you see that these PTD, YTD, YTD are different per column. So they are not for the entire report. They are populated by column as we defined in the wizard. Now when you build a report manually, the advice is to do the same thing. So if it can apply to the entire report, put it at the top. Otherwise, the parameters can be defined at column level. Now let's have a closer look at one of these balances here. Let's have a look at the function. This is a CCA balance. And in the function wizard, you can see which cells are linked to that particular balance, split up in time parameters, general parameters, and CO objects. So year 2008, period 5, balance type YTD, ledger 0, actual, version 0, etc., etc. So the advantage of using the wizard is that you can use these drop downs here and see all the descriptions of all the values that you can use. And then let's cancel out of that. And then you can build on that further. Of course, it is Excel. So for instance, let's add another column here and add a variance and a normal Excel formula here, equal this cell minus this cell. Here we go. And then we can pull that down across all of the lines. So almost done. Now let's clean that up a little bit. We can do that by highlighting these lines here and then group them, so it's easier for later to ungroup them if we want. Do the same with the columns here, and well, there you have it. Let's give it another try. So let's update the period here to period 6. Here we go. It goes to work, and you can see that the entire report refreshes in real time. So it's working fine. Perfect. So there you have it, a cost center accounting report with a current month actual column and a year budget versus actual variance.